amalgam condenser. And I don't have a small one, so we're gonna use this
Sometimes
one.
they can't walk.
I don't have that in here.
Sarah, do you always put it in the proximal area first?
I do.
Yeah, you want to fill your box first and condense really well in your box.
Okay, so are we learning that we need to do this pretty quickly yet?
Yeah.
How come? Yeah. Then you can't carve it and make it all pretty. That's the fun part, right?
So how nice is that to have an assistant who's loading while you're condensing?
Yeah. Yeah, Bay 2's been getting spoiled today.
Bay 3, I didn't see, none of our spills turned out to be nice and shiny like that. A lot of our spills, our mixes were turning out to be a little bit more crumbly and dry. Not too much that we couldn't manipulate it, but drier than that. That's nice. When you are learning about condensing, I don't know if you've gotten there yet, but the ideal mix is when you're condensing and that rich, wet mercury rises to the top. You want it to rise to the top because as you carve, you're going to carve off the excess mercury. If we don't get it wet enough when we mix it and it's a little crumbly or dry like Bay 3's was, it's okay, but it's more ideal to be able to pull off that mercury when it comes and rises to the top.
Hey, this is how I really burnish.
See, that's
Back of the Explorer.
Yeah.
Anybody seasick yet? Sorry.
but it's
I just used the back of the condenser. Sorry, I lied.
yeah,
I
that's what I do. So Sarah and I, we're the same that way. We're condensing with the back of the condenser, the side of the condenser burnisher. We're combined to burnishing with the condenser. You'll notice that when you burnish, if you use that really tiny ball burnisher around your cable surface margins, that ball burnisher is so small that that ball is really going to make an indentation, and you don't want an indentation around your
push stuff. Okay, so we're getting back to the anatomy here. I've got my acorn burnisher, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to follow my groove. So what's this groove here?
It's really blurry.
I know, it's because it got out of focus. Is it back?
Yeah.
So distal lingual. So we're going to come from the lingual and get that into that distal, just like that with that
Oh
acorn.
my gosh, you do it so well.
This is on video, Peggy. Behave.
Okay.
No. Okay, buckle groove. Same thing. We're going to come right in.
Just follow those grooves. Use those grooves that are already in your teeth as clues.
So what's my third dot? Mesial fossa. So we're going to come over here by the marginal ridge. Back and forth. Just sweep that in. And then we're going to connect our dots, right? So we're going to go from mesial fossa to central fossa, and then a slight, not very heavy, be light-handed here. Come back over into that distal lingual groove. Okay?
When you're working on the top two, sorry, she started out going transverse direction from buccal to lingual, or lingual to buccal. Okay, that's going to be a little bit different than our mandibular teeth, the kind of carved distal to mesial.
Okay, so I'm clearing my band and starting with early contours on my marginal ridge. And I can already tell it's really high, but that's okay, because we know how to fix that, right?
So see, she's working in a transverse direction. That's how you got to do it when you're an indirect patient. You're going to be looking in the mirror and doing it upside down and backwards.
No problem, we got it, right?
You got it.
We do upside down and backwards.
The hygienist,
Whoa.
right? You'll be able to back up trailers and boats after this.
Oh no, I still can't. What's wrong with me?
Okay. Anybody remember what I was doing there?
Holding your marginal ridge in
Yeah.
place.
Keep the marginal ridge supported.
Some people use their finger, it's all good.
So then I'm going to work on my marginal ridge height while it's nice and soft so that I don't fracture it off.
But see how now she had to take it down and it's kind of flattened out that mesial fossa. I think that's what we were running into in our bay. So
So-
then
Yeah.
it's
go
kind
ahead.
of gone again.
So what did we talk about? When you lower the height of one thing, you have to deepen the depth of the adjacent thing, right? So we've got heights of cusp and ridges and depths of pits and fossa and grooves. So when you lower a height, you have to deepen a depth, okay? So remember that juxtaposition. So I'm gonna go back in here. And I'm gonna go on, what did I say? We're gonna go to that distal buccal cusp first. So attack it in pieces, right? So let's think about that oblique ridge is that anatomical feature we know we have to have. So I'm gonna gently come in here and then we're gonna be light. It's still pretty soft. This is the highest point on this tooth, right? So we don't wanna overcarve it. Okay, so I'll just break that up so you can see where I'm at. I don't know if you guys can see that very well.
And I'm looking at 15 while she's doing
Yeah,
that too.
and if you're not sure, come over here. Okay, here's my oblique ridge. I need to be at this angle and I need to curve it this way. Do that. Trace over that tooth. And then come over here and replicate that. That's the one thing I love about the maxillas. Even though it's challenging with that indirect vision, is you've got a cheat sheet right there at all times. And you're not breaking any rules by using that.
I was just gonna say too, that's why, because she had to lower that, do you see how the ridge got wider too? So if you can get a better ridge height at the beginning, it makes less work for you.
So even if it's too high, it's okay.
If it's too high, it's okay, it just means she has to
You're
get
gonna
that
have to carve it off.
mesofossa again and then kind of
Yep.
shape it again.
That's all right. I know how to do it.
You can always take more down. So little by
Yes,
little.
once you take it out, it's hard to put it back.
Just
You
like-
can't put it back.
Short, controlled strokes.
So let's talk about that mesial
Sure.
fossa. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna use that little depression in the tooth as a guide for where that goes. And then we're gonna match it on the other side.
What are you using there, Sarah?
This is the cleoid end of the discoid cleoid. Okay?
Maybe we should just rename it the Bridget Stone.
The Bridget tool. Okay? We're gonna define that. So we've got more of a pit, a little bit of a fossa. So we're gonna come in here and we're just gonna gently round out that marginal ridge as it rolls into the fossa. And that's gonna give us more of a fossa appearance and start the rounding of our banana.
The banana. Is that what you call the marginal ridge?
Yeah, because if you look at it in cross section,
Oh yeah, it looks like a
it
banana.
looks like a banana. Not one of those. That is very different. Okay, and if you guys are wanting to use your Montana Jack as an interproximal carver, get some coaching with it first. I know she's making faces. Kara disagrees. That's okay. We'll
What
do
do
our own
you use,
things.
Kara?
What do you like to use, Kara?
You can use this when you get good at it. It's sharp. It will cut your, it will cut
The gingiva
your,
and the
it will cut
Contact?
your gingiva, but it will cut your amalgam while it's soft like that. Unless you know how to use it.
Are you thinking you'd obliterate the contact?
Well, or you gouge and
You gouge
treat
it.
pitting.
Oh,
You can
But
wipe
you'll-
out your marginal ridge.
You'll learn how to use it
When
better.
it's soft enough, I will use the Explorer just like the Montana
Yeah.
Jack.
I'll use the interproximal carver, interproximally.
You do know that they make interproximal carvers that are identical to Montana Jack, and they just call them an interproximal carver, though, right? Just for the record. Just throw that out there.
That's what the textbook says.
It's a battle of the carvers, guys.
And there's quades, which are like really thin, like a piano
So
wire.
I'm just kind of going around and I'm tracing my steps and making sure that I'm following the declination of the slope from the cusp, and that it's nice and smooth and everything matches up height-wise. Okay? And I kind of like to have just a little bit of that buccal groove extend over onto the lingual so that you can see a difference between my oblique ridge and my mesiolingual cusp.
Your grooves, your mesial groove and your distal buccal groovish thing. Those are always going to be deeper than the groove that goes through the oblique ridge.
Yes.
Always. So your cheat guy will help you. But just try to think about that.
Mhm. And when you're not sure that you have definition, just remember that your grooves define your cusps, right? If you didn't have grooves, we wouldn't know where the cusps were. That make sense?
Look at that round that is looking good. Whoa, that's nice.
It's not banana.
Woo! Look at that.
I don't have
And
very
the-
sharp discoid cleoids, so
the
my mesial
distance-
fossa is not looking too hot.
Her distance from here to here, and she's gonna try to make her distance from here to here the same as the adjacent.
The height, you mean, Karen?
The
And
width,
the width of the ridge.
Oh, the width of the ridge.
from the proximal to where she's carving, proximal here.
Here we go, we got a little bit more mesial fossa in there.
Nice.
It looks deeper because
That's
it's
what I was
getting
gonna
shiny.
say. Oh, I was just gonna say the shadow is making it look like it is deeper than the central.
It might be a hair. So we'll just go back in.
I can't stop looking at that round proximal area. Woo!
Nice.
I love. Woo! We're gonna marry it. Look at that really nice lingual embracure.
So then we're gonna check. And I look from that buccal view without looking at the occlusal of my tooth. I'm literally looking in my mirror and I'm looking to see how my butt cheeks come together. Okay? Is one square and lumpy? Are they both round?
They come together.
So right now I'm looking in my mirror and I'm rounding out that buccal butt cheek.
Like our butt, if we don't carve down enough, our one butt cheek's gonna be square
Yeah.
and high like this. So we gotta make sure we carve our butt cheek to
Match the other butt cheek.
yeah, we don't want one flat.
Yeah, no lopsided butt cheeks.
High or flat. We want them to be symmetrical, round.
Apple bottom jeans.
That's not realistic, Karen.
I know.
No, it's not. I can vouch for that.
Okay, and then again, I'm just gonna go back in and make sure all of my grooves are nice and distinct. My distal fossa back here is really evident. The central groove I think is pretty good. So this is just finishing touches, right? You guys can do this no problem. Check my cavo surface margins really quickly.
Are you using a brusher to do that?
I'm using the cleoid end of the discoid cleoid. In a downward motion.
Pushing and pulling.
And on a patient, burnishing the margins looks amazing, and that is totally a great idea to do on your patients. But we don't teach you to do that in lab because Reb does not want to see shiny fillings, because it might imply that you finished or polished your restoration, which you wouldn't do within 24 hours of placing your amalgam. And we'll learn more about that later. I'd say we're probably pretty close there.